Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy 47 Dex.
And it's Dirty Boy James O. And it's kind of sad to be saying that name at this age, but yeah, it's us. We're back, the Parallel Reels podcast, where movies get their moment. This week, we're going to dive deep into two very unsettling movies. Very, very, can I say, gross and very intellectually, you know, thoughtful movies, The Substance and A Different Man, two psychological thrillers that explore identity, transformation in the darkest corners of the human mind, psyche, and all forms of our physicality. So let's unpack how these chilling tales hold up and whether they deliver.
Man, Substance was a movie, but excuse me, let me get a little bit into it. So what happens when a drug meant to heal starts to break down people's mind? The Substance tells a story of a new treatment that goes wrong, turning patients into dangerous versions of themselves. As the situation gets worse, the lead researcher struggles with the consequences of her actions and the moral question that comes with playing with science. The film mixes tense moments with tough ethical decisions, showing how fragile the human mind is and the danger of pushing science too far.
Before you start getting deep into this movie, because I know you say you really enjoyed this movie, I did as well. But from the onset, what would you tell people about this movie? Like, I liked the movie, but it was just too damn nasty. Do you think they could
Bro,
have done it without being so gross?
man, I hate it's crazy because I didn't watch the trailer or nothing before I got into this movie. I just
Same.
wanted to, get surprised. So I didn't expect anything. I hate body horror movies. When it came on, bro, I was squirming. Yeah, you should definitely not eat or have not be eating or doing anything food related when you're watching this movie. Like you just need to be isolated by yourself because this movie really gets down and dirty.
Mm,
But even though I hate stuff like that, I think it added to the movie because subtracting that from the movie, I don't think the movie would have been as good as it is. And it's crazy saying that because I hated that part, but I feel like that's what enhanced the movie to kind of take it to that next step for me.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. Just like what you said, I did not watch no trailer. I just wanted to jump right in. I've haven't seen anything about this. All I know is that Demi Moore was going to be the lead actress. She was married to Ashton Kutcher and Bruce Willis. I don't know if you ever knew that. Fun fact for all you trivia nerds out there. But I enjoyed this movie, but it's just like it had such a powerful message at the same time.
Yep.
And I think that's where it ties in with A Different Man. And we're going to get back into the messages of both movies in a second. A Different Man is a psychological drama about a man who changes his appearance to escape his past. As he tries to start over, he struggles with the effects of his decision, creating a tense and thought provoking look at identity and physicality. The film keeps you on the edge as it makes you think about what it really costs to try to change who you are. Yeah. Another
So,
question I was going to ask, what do you think about this movie?
man, this movie was beautifully shot. I
Mm,
think the message behind that movie, which we're gonna get into that, was so powerful. Like it really touched me. For some reason, I know this movie just came out 2024, but it feels like a classic to me. I don't know why. I
mm.
think
Isn't it a little bit too
like
early for that?
exactly that's what I'm saying. Like it just came out last year, but watching it, I think that 70s feel that
Yeah.
it has, that grain, that grunginess, that darkness to that movie, it just felt like a classic, even though it just came out last year.
Yeah, it's a film by A24 Studios. They're known for
Shout out.
avant-garde cinematography and they're I don't know where they come up with their scripts and their ideas, but they always have such great movies from that studio.
Nah,
Um
facts.
I really enjoyed this movie as well, and I would say that I think as time goes on, this will definitely become a classic. I know it has to be a cult classic already. Definitely has a big following behind it, and also, as everybody knows, I love Sebastian Stan. I don't think there's a movie that Sebastian Stan's in that I do not like. Ever since he played Bucky,
Shout out Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes, I think he's one of the greatest. He's a really great actor. I think he's one
Facts.
of the greatest actors of this new generation. And I think he deserves a lot more flowers. He has a
Facts. And
crazy range.
facts. And you saying that, I was thinking every role that he gets, he's so versatile, bro,
Mm,
that like he really like indulge into that character and he
yeah,
makes you really believe um who he is. Even with this different man, like how he's able to play two sides of the same coin, and you could like definitely see like wow, like he really like went above and beyond. I think I usually don't go for the main characters in movies. I'm
yeah.
more of like the sidekick or the side characters, but I definitely say Edward and Different Man was definitely like my favorite character in this movie.
Did you like Edward more than Guy when he turned into Guy Moratz?
I think I like Edward more, man.
Yeah. Um, and the great part about this movie is that they actually incorporate people with disabilities and deformities,
Yeah,
and they don't just use them as a prop. Literally, Adam Pearson plays
yeah.
Oswald,
Oswald. Yep,
and he actually has that disability in real life, and he doesn't let it
yep,
hinder him. I think that's what the real message behind this film, A Different Man, is. Not to let disabilities, us people who don't have disabilities or deformities that people can see, we shouldn't look at other people with those disabilities and deformities as people who are victims.
yep.
They should be allowed to live their life to the fullest and be able to enter any room without being looked down upon. And I think that's what the real message behind A Different Man is. And I think that's one of the main things I really took from this movie. And I think that's how it ties into the substance. What do you think the real message is behind substance?
Um, you kind of saying that. I think it kind of has the same message as well, because Substance, as Elizabeth, she's getting towards the end of her career, and like she's not being appreciated as or looked up to as she did in the earlier years of her career. So she felt like, what can she do next? So obviously, she comes across this drug or this, commercial about this drug that is able to make you younger and feel sexy again. So guess what? She jumped on that wagon, and you know, us human, we always want the easy way out, right?
Yeah,
And guess what? The easy way out always comes with what? Consequences.
and a
So I
price.
think that's the message here is like, why can't we just, live in our own skin? Why do we have to be other people that like we're not? So her, going because she didn't know, the side effects of these drugs, but again, she didn't care. Why? Because she wanted to be the main character again. She wanted to be loved again. She wanted to be young again. She wanted to feel sexy again. She wanted to be what the center of attention again. So
Mm,
she put all that ahead of what could go wrong. And guess what? What could go wrong went wrong. So the message here, I feel like, it's like, why can't we just accept ourselves for who
yeah,
we are? Like we've already lived that life. Why do we want to go back again? You feel me? It's like you right now, yeah, like we talk about, the good old days, the good old days. But what are we gonna gain going back there again? Like what are we gonna gain from that? It's like, okay, we've learned our lesson. Let's add that lesson onto where we're headed, like on in life in the future, and just make ourselves a better person.
right, right. That's a great way to explain the message, and also it ties into what I believe the message is, which is essentially the same thing. But I feel as though the director, I believe she was also the screenwriter as well.
Yeah.
Um, she's really into feminist ideals and pushing the feminist uh she waves the feminist flag. So I think this movie also ties in with the big problem with, I would say, maybe American society, maybe Western society right now, which is people are obsessed with staying young and looking good forever. So
Yep.
plastic surgery, BBLs are in right now, and Ozempic. I think this movie really is talking about Ozempic,
Not facts,
um,
bro.
Mongiorno, all those quick weight loss,
Quick fix.
quick fixes, and surgeries and plastic surgery that honestly we do not know the side effects of all these things, but they're working quick, 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 and we see everybody in Hollywood is using Ozempic right now, and they're looking, excuse my language, but looking like thriller video rejects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, right. So I think what she was trying to say is that everybody's using all these different types of, get sexy quick, get young quick fixes, and in the future, who knows how bad the side effects are going to be. And also, another side of it is the beauty standards and the uh, the standards that we place on women
Yep.
are very, 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 very tough. And also, it's taxing on the mind, and also ageism goes into it as well. It's taxing on the mind, taxing on the body. So people go to these lengths to try to look and conform to what society wants. But at the same time, if you remember the director of the show, he eventually fired her after
Yep.
she turned 50. He fired
50.
her. Then she turned into Sue, and
Yep.
he was so excited about her. Then he told her, "Pretty girls always have to smile." Remember, he kept on saying that, and that kept on ringing in the back of her head. And I like how they kept on using that as a refrain in the movie, because that's something you know, you shouldn't be always telling a woman. You always gotta smile. You always gotta smile. So
You feel me?
so I think the all the surgeries that women end up getting, then we also end up looking down upon them for getting the surgeries as well. So it's a catch 22. So
It's
the
man,
movie is deep. The movie's deep.
it's crazy that you say that because like I think she was cool until her manager started like reminding her about her age, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
fired her and all these things, right? So I think again, society played like a bigger factor in her trying to get this makeover than herself. I felt
yeah,
like, if that wasn't like pushed onto her, shoved down her throat. Because bro, her manager what kept reminding her, like her Harvey, I believe
yeah,
that was like the producer's name or manager's name.
yeah.
He's like, "You're 50, you're getting old, da 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 da. You need to get replaced." So guess what? Because she loved her job so much, and she didn't want to like walk away yet. She wasn't. It's crazy because they say walk away from the game before the game
Walks away
embarrasses
from
you.
you. Yeah.
So I was like, it's like the same thing. It's just like it was time for her to leave. I mean, she wasn't ready to leave yet, but dude was ready for her to leave. And because she was trying to fight, 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 she went to the extreme to go get the substance, which was the drug.
Yeah. So the direction, I like how the director of the movie, she named whatever that she used the substance. Because
Yep.
truly we don't know what these things are. It's just a substance that magically
Substance.
works. So I
Yep.
think there's a lot of um, nuances, a lot of symbolism in this movie. And
Yes.
what do you think about the direction of going a body horror route?
Man, there was a lot of hitting messages in this movie. Like once again, like I'm not a fan of body horror. Like stuff like that just like creeps me out, man. But it really made this movie, which is crazy because the direction of the substance, it does a great job of blending like intense moment with tough moral questions. Keeping the story very dark and also colorful. The pictures was very bright, colorful, but the details that were happening was very gruesome and gross.
Yeah.
So it's like a mixture of both worlds, like happy with the colors and then dark with the details of
Mm,
the body transforming. Uh, even like I believe like the first scene when Shorty took the when Elizabeth took the drug, and then Sue, comes from the back of her, and I'm like, yo, what kind of movie is this?
bro.
Like right off the back, right there, it grossed me out, man. But this is what made the movie. The movie
Yeah.
explains signs in a very difficult way. Like it's like why are we playing with God's creation?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
God made us how he made us. Why can't we just accept that? But as humans and as we always want man-made things to enhance our, our features, like how you were mentioning, I didn't even think about it. Which you just made a great point about BBLs. Society thinks, every man wants a BBL until they get it, and then it's just like, all right,
Every
now it's too
woman.
much. Well, yeah, Every woman thinks every man wants a wants a woman
Was a
with the
move with the
BBL,
BBL, yeah.
and then they get it. But I think it's just when it goes left. You know those like outrageous ones that it's like, all right, it doesn't look normal. Like, I'm
You
not
look
trying to get deep
crazy.
into that because that's none of my business. I don't want to be in a woman's business. But this, this movie kind of like touched base on that with how that the direction went. It's just like, why can't we just accept where we're at in life? Why can't we just enjoy where we're at in life? But man, the details of how gruesome this film was, it was so nasty
It was
that like
trifling.
it really it really did it did a
It
good
did
job.
it did a number. It did a number on me too, and especially the last final scenes.
Oh my days,
My
bro.
lord, I
Bro.
don't know. Apparently, they used 21,000 pints of blood, fake
Oh
blood,
my
for this whole
bro.
movie. I mean, it's gross. I had to turn away. I had to
Had
turn
to
away.
force I had to force myself to finish it
I had to turn
because I
away.
just
I
wanted
could
to see
not.
was it. You know what's crazy? I really thought it was gonna be a dream, right? I really
Oh,
thought after a while Shorty's gonna wake up, Elizabeth was gonna wake up, and it's all gonna be a dream. But
mm,
no, it's real.
it was real.
Because like it's crazy because you know how the movie started with us seeing her star
Mhm.
is how it ended with us seeing her star, but this time it was her all what you call it, decomposed,
It was her blood all over it that she dissolved. She literally
bro.
disintegrated
So
on her star, and I think that's
it's
also
like
a good point.
how you came into this world is how you gonna get out.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's another message within the ending as well that the director put in there, that all this transformation, all this surgery, all these beauty standards, it would actually mean nothing at the end of the day, because guess what? You're just gonna disintegrate anyways,
You feel
which
me?
is unfortunately the truth of life. And I like how you said, why that we always trying to play God, trying to play with science. I think that ties into a different man too, because this movie actually talks about a real deformity,
Yep.
neuro. I believe, what is it called? It's
Euro.
neurofibro. It's it's a very hard name to pronounce. I would
Yeah, I'm
say
not.
that.
I'm not. I'm not good with big words, so you got
Yeah,
this one.
I'm. It's been a while since I've been in school, so
When did you get your master's?
you know how many, bro? That was 5 years ago.
Wow, I thought it
Yeah,
was
bro.
last month.
Hey,
You Africans love school, so
ooh, I hate that shit.
but nah, man. Find that word, man. You gotta say it. Find
No, let
that
me
word.
find it. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna find that word.
But man, hey, if you got it in you, man, go watch the substance, man. If you got
It's,
it in you,
yeah, this boy.
it's not a scary movie. It's just a body horror movie, and
And
I'm glad I didn't watch anything about it, and I went into the theaters blind.
yeah,
You know,
same. Because
just
the little pictures that I saw, I just saw just such nice colors from the movie. The
yes.
movie has such nice colors, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a breeze. You know what I'm saying,
That's why
bro?
I thought it was a dream,
25 minutes into it, her back
bro.
opens up. She literally, her spinal cord just,
Bro,
whoever was the effects manager, prosthesis manager, whoever did prosthetics,
bro,
y'all are amazing, because it made me want to throw up, literally,
bro, that's the word. I
man.
want to throw up. I need to find their email and send them a letter. They
Yeah.
they did their good one on me today.
And also,
Cause
I think it's also a good, another message in itself. This movie has a lot of messages, I know.
a
I think
lot.
another message is the fact that the main actress was Demi Moore. Demi Moore is not as popular as she once was. She was a very, very popular actress, uh, I guess 90s, 80s, early 2000s, but it's 2025, and like, I think she's well over 50, well, maybe closer to 60s probably. And this movie has done very, very well, for someone who is not as in movies as much as she used to be. So that's
Yeah,
another
that's
uh
another message. I
another
wonder.
message right there.
I wonder like how she felt like internally, like
Mm,
acting this role, because I'm sure she's able to relate to it. So maybe
right.
that's why she really like killed this part. So like I'm saying, like internally, like in real life, did it affect her? Like even though I'm playing this role, this is also her reality.
That's funny because usually I watch like interviews about movies or something like that. I didn't watch nothing about this movie. Like I like to get the actors' perspective on how they felt about it.
Yeah.
The directors, I didn't watch nothing. Just like how you did, just went and dived head in,
Yes.
head
Blinded.
first. And honestly, I think it was the best way to go about this movie because it's not what you expect at all.
That's true.
But going back to A Different Man, the the disability is called neurofibromatosis, which is which it manifests as a disfiguring facial condition. And obviously, Sebastian Stan doesn't have this disability in real life,
Yes.
but Adam Pearson, the actual actor, I mean, the actor that actually has neurofibromatosis, he has that disability, and it just seems like he just acts like it's not even there. You know,
Yeah.
he just lives his life, and it's something that Sebastian Stan's character
Fails to do.
fails to do. He feels as though the disability was what was taking him away
Hindering him.
from living an outgoing life. But here comes
Yes.
Oswald, played by Adam Pearson, just living life. You know, just, everybody loves him. He knows how to do so many things, and it quickly hurts Edward's.
Instantly, Edward.
And you
Guy.
know, Edward turns into Guy after the uh
Which
the science project that they were working on
yeah.
worked on him.
Which is crazy because you made a good statement in the beginning. You know, like people with like these body deformant what is it, deformentation, is
Deformities.
that a word, deformities, like they want to be treated equally, they wanted
Right.
to be treated like regular people,
Right.
but we feel like we should treat them special,
Mm,
which in a way affects them because then they feel like we are we don't look at them as human beings, or we don't look at them as equal as us, which in a way it sucks because you're just trying to be nice because obviously they're not 100%, excuse my language, but to them they are 100%, so they just want to be treated like you. So you made a good statement about that. So even that goes into his real life, Oswald, and also into the movie, because I also love how they actually used a real person with this syndrome,
mhm.
um then getting makeup and prosthetics and stuff like that. I think that even speaks a greater message because it's just like I think it gives people with that type of disease uh a chance to be like,
Yeah.
okay, I can also do this. They're
Right.
not gonna use a fake prosthetic or a fake character and just put these things on them, which even goes into, I don't want to go into deep into the different man yet, which we're gonna get there, but I feel like which also goes into the story of Guy in the play as well.
Mm,
So I really enjoyed them actually using this character Aaron to actually play his real self in the movie.
yeah. I definitely agree with you, and I don't know. It just like you said. It's a very touching story. It really is. The fact, I mean, it's not a true story, but I can definitely tell that they definitely talked to Adam Pearson a lot about this film.
Yeah.
Um, you can see it that this
I said
has,
Aaron.
yeah, yeah,
My bad,
yeah.
Adam.
I didn't want to cut you off and say, oh no,
Nah, cause that Aaron Pierre, whatever his name is, stuck in my head, man.
Mufasa.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you were saying.
yeah. It's just so and the fact that they used not just Adam Pearson, but a whole slew of actors who have deformities, facial deformities, were in this movie. That go back to your point about when people with facial deformities or other type of physical deformities or disabilities see this type of film, they feel represented. They feel as though, just like you said,
Included.
they feel included. And that's one thing I would say Western society does a bad job in. Not even just Western society, the whole world. You
Yeah.
know, and the thing about what you're saying about we try to be nice or be more accommodating towards people with physical deformities or anything like that, it does actually hinder them more. And because they're, oh, this person really trying to be my friend, or they just want to be nice because they know I have a physical deformity that they
Exactly.
can see. And which
Because
is
if they didn't have it so visibly, would you treat them the same way that you're treating
exactly.
them?
And I think you see that throughout this movie from start to finish. And that's,
Yes.
I think it's a very, very underlying message that is powerful. And it kind of like made me think about how I relate to people
Yes.
who I've met with physical deformities. Um and it's, I'm thinking, okay, was I trying to be their friend, or was I just being nice in the moment?
But you don't even think about it. I think it's just second nature,
Right.
right? You're not thinking, "Oh, let me be nice to this person." It's just that sympathy, if that's what you want to say, or is
Mm.
it sympathy or empathy?
Empathy is when you try to like put yourself in their shoes and live
Okay,
life
so
through
yeah,
their
okay,
eyes.
empathy. So I feel like you want to empathize without. It's just like second nature, subconscious. You just want to be there for them.
Right.
But like you said, is it hindering them because
Mm.
now they're feeling like you're looking down on them?
Right.
Because think about it, right? Even like how we talk to babies, right? when they're like babies, we talk to them like slow, right? But they don't
Yeah.
know what we're talking about,
That.
and they're probably looking at us like, bro, these people are dumb. These people are stupid. But this whole time we're talking to them like goo goo gaga, like we think we're having a conversation with them, but in reality, they're probably looking at us like, all right, bro, stop.
Like, yeah, what are you talking about? Because they don't know. They have no clue what you're saying.
Exactly.
So that leads me into, because you said that leads me into the cinematography. I like the cinematography of The Substance, but like I said, it's just so gross. Like, it's disgusting. It's trifling. It's like that meme, disgusted. Like, I
Brother.
yeah, just nasty. Just nasty. But that gets me into the cinematography of both of these movies. They're eerily different, very, very different cinematography styles. A24, like I said, they're an avant-garde studio, so they're always going to make their films very, very different. um that's why I really like that. I guess, was that like a super, is they call it like a super 8 film effect that they did on the movie, like it's a 70s
Oh yeah,
style?
with
You
like
know more
with the
about that than
grain.
I do.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
grain, very vintage
Yeah.
film style. Yeah, I mean you could put it in a category of Super 8,
Okay.
But I think it goes with like the 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, like
Yeah.
film
Okay.
grains. It's it's using like it's called Kodak 2883. That's that type of LUT. People call it LUT. I know I'm just talking gibberish to you right now, but
Yeah, to all the audience at home that do not know film speak or cinematography speak, I have no clue what this man is
I'm
talking
sorry. All
about.
right, let me break it back down to earth.
Yeah.
It's just a vintage look to
Right.
make it to give that old school grungy feel.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. And I think it was a great masterful effect for this film. It made it, I don't know, it felt like it was a modern film, but not at the same time.
Felt like it was shot in the 70s, man.
Yeah, it felt like it was shot in the 70s, but they were still had like modern technology in the film at the same time.
Exactly.
It was weird, but I think it's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to really know what time period this is. Um, I think I think that's also a message. Like, this can be anytime. You know,
Yep.
this is just life. Because this is happening to people around the world at all times. Do you see any similarities between the two in cinematography styles?
Not at all. Because Substance was very bright and
Yeah.
in your face and very detailed. and I felt like with Different Man, it was very old school. It was very grungy. I don't know. It gave me like the Sleepy Rain type of vibe,
Yeah.
like very moody. So and
Yeah.
when it came to like the direction as well, I felt like even though Different Man was also a body horror, but it wasn't to that extreme as The Substance.
Would you actually call it a horror film, a body horror film, or just a
No, I
thriller?
mean not really. I'd call it more of a thriller because the only time we really experienced a body horror was when his disorder was kind of like falling off his face,
Yeah.
which it was kind of gross because it's all like slimy and yeah.
Oh
But
man.
that was like the only moment where we kind of like had to, observe a body horror in the Different Man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. That scene, I am very very squeamish. That scene had me. Ugh. It's just like I start like tweaking and stuff. My hands start
Bro,
shaking. Bro, ugh.
I
Ugh.
have to come back to it, which is crazy because even though it's not the Different Man, it's not to the same extent or
Yeah.
extreme as Substance. It still had like the same message, right?
Man.
In a way, with Edward, it's crazy because he goes from Edward, and then he gets the tumor off his face,
Mm.
and now he just becomes Guy, which like there's nothing to the name. It's just
Damn.
bland. It's just plain. He could have thought about any other name, but he just went with Guy.
I think I didn't even realize that, but that is such a poignant look at it. It's because he truly never really developed his personality. You
Exactly.
know, he never really became Edward. He was just a guy, literally. Even though he had those, he was blaming the disability for him not being who he thinks he could
Yes.
be. I think there's an old saying I heard Nigerians say all the time: disability is not inability. You know,
Yeah.
because people with disabilities have accomplished so much. You
So
know,
much. Look at
and a lot of them have,
the Olympics.
yeah, Paralympics. Oh my God, like such such tenacity and such they just you know they want to win, and also they don't want people to look down upon them as like, oh, they can't do this.
Exactly. And
So
they
like,
even have to work twice as hard as us.
exactly, you know, and also they probably work 4 times as hard because
Facts.
they want to. It's not that they even some of them they might want to prove something, but I feel as though some of them they just want to do it for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's always enlightening and heartwarming to see stuff like that because it makes me want to go harder. You know what I'm saying? I'm able bodied, but I'm lazy at the same time. We can definitely all do more. There's always room for improvement. So,
Not facts.
um,
Facts. No,
I, I
that's very true, man. And
yeah,
I love how like this film really touches on a lot of things that we don't like. Just watching it, you're not gonna notice until you have to kind of sit back and reflect on, okay, what is the message that this director is trying to portray?
right.
And it's just like, man, it's a lot when you kind of uncover things because it's like he was blaming, his disability. Okay, now the disability was gone, and guess what? He even became a more boring guy. He became worse.
Mm.
He just
Mm.
became a regular person because now, okay, you don't have the excuse anymore. What's your like? What's your excuse now? And guess what? He didn't have it in him. And then I love how the director shows that Oswald, who has this disability, is able to do all this. He's able to be confident. He's a good actor. He's able to live in his skin. He's able to pull all the women. And then it's just like Guy, Edward, like every time he saw Oswald doing great, 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 he just kept getting jealous, jealous, jealous. Like it was eating him up because it's like, why couldn't I be like that? And it's just like it goes deep. It's like it's not what's outside, but what's inside. And he
Mm.
just wasn't that guy.
Well, he wasn't that guy. You
He
know,
wasn't that
he
guy.
he he donned the personality of people that most people don't want to be nowadays. You know, he became a wealthy real estate um,
Yep.
guru, which I'm not knocking um, the profession of real estate agents because I I actually think that's a really a dope thing to do. But just the things that he was doing, his mannerisms, he just felt as though he was above a lot of people just because he didn't have that that deformity anymore, which
Yep.
was so, which is the complete opposite of Oswald. Oswald saw the good in everyone. He was always trying to include everyone in everything. He was just he was larger than life. I loved his character. I loved
Bro,
the actor that played him. You can just tell that he loves life, and it made me kept on watching. I just kept on watching the movie. I was like, when's Oswald gonna come back in the scene? Because like he was a
not
great
fact.
actor. That guy did an amazing job,
It's
and
crazy because the first time we saw him at the play,
yeah,
I knew he's about to take over the play. And it's
he just
crazy because Guy or Edward wanted the tumor off his face just for him to put that mask back on to
mask on.
hide behind who he didn't want to be anymore. So it's
When
kind of crazy to me.
when he had the mask
No, no,
on, he was a better actor than when he had the mask off.
exactly. Because guess what? Ingrid, he like he felt like, Ingrid finally was what accepting of him. So he's able to be himself. Because I think he was surprised that she even gave him the time of day. And I
Right.
think that's what surprised me about the movie. This movie wasn't really that predictable.
No.
Because Substance was predictable kind of to me, but Different Man was
Mm.
not predictable. Okay, the reason why I say that, right, is because I didn't think Ingrid, the girl in the same apartment building, was ever gonna give him a chance. And I
Mm.
thought after he got the tumor off his face, like they would have really like knocked it off and like really, happy ever after. But no, it was the opposite. Like she didn't really care for him anymore. And
Yeah.
even when they were having intimate intercourse, she's like, put the mask back on. And it's just like, is this girl weird? Or she's really after what's in the inside, not the outside.
And the funny thing about that is, that's a good point. When she said that about the go get the mask when they were, when they're in bed, I was like, I threw my hands up. I was like, oh, is she okay? Like, so what type
Like
of
that caught
person
me off
truly?
guard, bro.
Yeah, exactly. What type of person is she? But then, like, even within the movie, they talk about that inside the play. They talk about you keep on wearing the mask. She keeps on. She's just tired of him. And
Yep.
she gets really bored, and he becomes crazy, and he starts stalking them, and he ends up breaking his freaking legs and arms because he won't leave them alone.
Bro,
It's so crazy.
when he when he came into the show and he was trying to kill Oswald, bro, it had me weak, bro.
I and so that's another facet about this movie that I really love. The way they use humor. It's definitely a dark comedy. It's
Dark.
the way they use humor is so crazy. The part when they were talking of when uh Edward slash Guy, he was getting jealous of Oswald. He was like, he shot Oswald shot Lincoln, and she was like, no, he didn't. That wasn't Oswald.
That was JFK.
That was Oswald shot JFK. Bro, I was dying at that part because I was like, this is hilarious. Why is this even added?
Bro, why is this
Like,
even added, especially in this modern day when you
yeah,
could get canceled so quickly?
yeah,
So I think that's what even adds onto the movie,
yeah,
that it's still going after dark humor when
yeah,
like back in the day, people enjoyed that. So they
yeah,
didn't even care. It's like the movie wasn't trying to cater to the modern world.
yeah. It was just doing his own thing, and he still got it wrong. Then he was like, oh, it was Hinckley. What if he's Hinckley? Hinckley shot Reagan. Like, like you have your
He
presidential
said, "I don't
assassins
care. It happened
completely
in the
wrong.
theater."
You're like, it happened in the theater. Yeah, I was like, what the? I thought that was
Nah,
hilarious. I thought it
nah,
was
that's
hilarious.
no. I
And
love, I
also,
love, I love both movies,
yeah,
but kind of going off both movies. We're gonna kind of get back. This is gonna be really hard. We're gonna kind of get back into the rating system for both movies, where we're gonna rank. Hey, I can't speak today. We're gonna rate the story, performance, technicals, rewatchable for both Substance and different man. So we're gonna start with Substance first. Let me grab my keyboard. Yikes! He didn't hear that.
They definitely did.
So I'm gonna grab my keyboard. So for you, what would you give Substance
Whew. I really
for
enjoyed that.
the storyline?
For the storyline, 4.5. I really enjoyed that movie.
Gee!
I really
What would
enjoyed
you give
the storyline.
the different
A
man?
different man.
Yeah,
Whew.
I keep wanting to say different world, but the different man.
Like a different world was a sitcom
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from the 90s about black people in college. But anyways, um, dang, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 as well.
Jeez,
No, these were really good, thought out
bro,
stories.
this is probably gonna be so hard to pick which one I like over the other, but we're gonna make it happen. What would you give the performance for Substance?
Lordy, lordy, lordy. Everybody was acting their ass off in both
Boy,
movies. They were acting their asses off. Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid. I don't know if you watch The Boys. Um, if you watch The Boys, that's his dad. That's his dad in real life.
oh for real? I don't.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I don't think I've seen it yet.
Y'all, you haven't watched The Boys, okay?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna add it to the list.
yeah, please watch The Boys. Um, Performances
It's like I lied. Is it a superhero movie?
is the show where
The show.
superheroes.
Yeah, I've
Where
seen. I've seen. I've seen it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. With Homelander.
Homelander. Yeah, I was like to say
Yeah,
we
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
talked about this before
yeah,
in real
yeah.
life.
All right.
Why am I forgetting his name right now? The main character whose girlfriend got obliterated by A Train.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not. I'm not good with names, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, his dad is the guy that played Harvey.
It's crazy
Yeah.
because yeah, I remember. I don't know why when you said the boys, I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about like Wild Hogs. Remember that movie Wild
What?
Hogs?
How the hell did you connect those two?
They bad. It's a Monday,
Wild
bro.
Hogs?
Because
Wild
I think
Hogs?
about the boys. I'm thinking about dudes in motorcycles.
Wild Hogs though? That
Bro, it came out
movie?
like what 2008.
I think it was like '06, bro. Why?
I'm
Well, the
gonna
boys
watch
and
that. I'm gonna watch that today.
I want to know the connection, please.
What would
Whoa.
you get the performance for Substance?
Substance, man. Everybody had a great performances. I would say I think Demi Moore was the most. She was very, very, very captivating. She was more captivating than the girl that played Sue. Her name is Margaret
So
Qualley. Sue was really good, but I was really captivated by Demi Moore. More, little
no
pun
pun
there.
intended.
So I'm gonna give the performances a 4.
For it. What about different man?
Man, everybody was happy. Even the even the backup, like the extras in the movie were really, really captivating, especially the homeless man and that just kept on coming out of nowhere in scenes.
Bro,
He was hilarious, and I think he was also a symbolism for something else. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 on the performances.
you saying that I was thinking about the maintenance guy.
Oh my god, he was
Even the maintenance
hilarious.
guy. What about technicals?
Man, this is going to be maybe might be controversial, but the technicals on Substance was amazing. Because they made you disgusted, but they kept
Facts.
you on the edge of your seat and you wanted more.
Facts.
So I'm gonna give it a
Facts.
5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Facts. Facts. All right. What about for different man?
Different man, the technicals were a little bit more muted. Um,
Yeah.
this is not a movie that was, you know, there's not too much CGI. There's not too much, you know,
Prosthetics.
prosthetics. So I'm just gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 3 because that's not what it's really based upon. That's not what it's about.
Chee! What about rewatchability for the stuff substance?
Substance it's gonna be hard for me to watch that again because it's so gross.
It's
It's a nasty movie, man. It's literally trifling. I'm gonna
the
give it a.
nasty.
It's a good movie, but me trying to watch it again is gonna be hard. I
I
like
mean,
the
you know what's
message.
gonna happen now, so you're kind of
Exactly.
prepared for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I would give it a 3.5 on rewatchability. It's only
Okay,
because
then.
of the body horror.
Facts, bro. Facts. What about different man?
Rewatchability for different man, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
4.5. All right, let me add it up. What do you, before I add it up? What movie do you think came out on top for you?
I like The Different Man a lot. I really like that movie. I love it.
So for Substance, you had 17
Okay.
out of 20, and then for Different Man, I don't know for some reason I feel like it's gonna be a tie.
Really? It might be. I really enjoy these movies.
Wait, let me add it back up again. Ain't no
Jeez.
way.
Is this
Wait,
guy,
wait.
what type of calculator is this guy using?
No, no, I got it, but I just want to make sure. You know, sometimes you have to double check your work.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sheesh. So for Different Man, you got 16.5.
Dang. That is so crazy. It's probably because of the technicals. Yeah, I gave it a low score on the technicals because it's not really technicals. But you know what? Let me ask you, what would you rate Substance for story?
Man, the story is beautiful, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. It kept me intrigued the whole time. I think I agree with you. I definitely give both of it a 4.5.
4.5. A Different Man and Substance,
Yeah.
4.5.
Because even though the Different Man was a different story, I was still interested to see how Guy was gonna end up
Yeah.
like with a story.
I love the ending of the movie.
Bro.
When Oswald said, "You're just the same guy,"
Just the same guy.
and he just
Which
starts
is
laughing.
funny because it means so many things.
Man, man. All right. So
But
performances
man, performances, bro, I'll give
for
Substance a
Substance,
4.5. And I'll give Different Story. That's a different story. Different Man, I get a 4.7.
a 4.7. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I understand. For technicals for both films.
Yeah. I'll give Substance 5.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
It's crazy. I'll give Different Man, I give it a 4.
Yeah. And rewatchability.
Man, I'm not watching that nasty shit again, bro. Man, it was a
Oh,
great movie,
yeah.
but I just hate. That's why I didn't major in science or healthcare or nothing like that.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
Bro, I'm giving it a 3.
All
Like,
right. I'm
and
there
it's
with you.
not because it was horrible. It's just because who I am.
Yeah, same. For Different
And
Man, though.
for Different Men, I'd give it a 4.5. Like I
Alrighty.
could see myself watching this with my family, like myself, like to even go back to pick up on more things that I didn't get the first time.
That's for sure. So let's add these up.
I hope the Different Man wins, man, because if Substance wins, man, I need to go to the doctor and get my eyes checked, man, because
Oh, for Substance, you actually got 17.
for real, oh my
Yeah.
God,
For a Different Man, we're adding these up here.
God, please be 18.5. God, please be 18.5.
You got 17.7. You're lucky you put that. You're lucky you put that point 0.7 on the performances. Smart guy.
Gang, 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 gang.
Hey,
You know, I like to thank my boys.
who are your boys?
I like to thank Oswald. I like to thank
Lee
Guy.
Harvey Oswald.
I like to thank
Hey,
Edward. You know, if because of them, I was able to put their movie high. So I just want to give them the thanks and the glory. If it wasn't for them,
are you okay? Hey, so shout out. He's saying shout out to Lee Harvey Oswald. That's
shout out to
nice.
Sebastian, Bucky Barnes,
Shout
man.
out to Bucky Barnes, man. Is the real problem in the substance the way science is misused or how the characters can't control their own choices? That's a question I'm going to leave to the viewers and we want you to respond. Let us know what you guys think. Is
Is the real problem in the substance the way science is misused, or how characters can't control their own choices? That's a deep one.
That's a deep question and also we can relate it to, are people misusing BBLs? Are people misusing Monjaro?
Ozempic,
Are people misusing Ozempic, plastic
Ozempic,
surgery?
Ozempic, Ozempic,
Ozempic.
Ozempic, Ozempic.
You're a sick man. Yeah.
That's a bar. But you got a question for them. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Which film delivers a more impactful exploration of transformation?
Damn. Just put me on the spot. That is a very, very difficult question for this type. These two movies are on a different type of echelon when it comes to storyline, um, and all around, when we talk about film. But to me, I would say because the substance is so, it's definitely far out. It's supposed to be very, very, it's on the fringes. It's literally crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's supposed to be a microcosm of our society and how crazy it is. It can get to
Yeah.
that level. I mean, you've seen some people with levels and levels and levels of plastic surgery, but that's what their choice. You know what I'm saying? But moving on, I'm going to say A Different Man has a more impactful exploration of transformation because it's talking about real things that people cannot change. You know, some of these disabilities and deformities, there's no cure for them. Like I'm sorry, the neurofibromatosis is a deformity that has no explanation and they cannot figure it out and they don't know what to do. But they can help you live a good life, but they don't know how to, rid you of that. And I
Yeah.
think that's there's so many people have so many different types of physical deformities, that they're never gonna go away. And I think it really dives deep into, let people live, and these people who have these deformities, they should also live their life to the fullest, and we all have things about ourselves that we would like to change, but they make us us. It sounds cliche, but it really does. That's really what it is. And so I'm gonna
Facts.
go. I'm gonna go with A Different Man, and I love that movie.
Nah, man, I'm not even gonna lie. I'd have to agree with you, man. 100%. Let them live in their truth. That's all I really gotta say. Like, I think even though the substance had a more, I feel like they had a more transformation.
Yeah,
I think the different men had a more impactful transformation
yeah,
because we're able to relate to that type of transformation, right?
yeah,
It's like we compare ourselves to different people and we're trying to be like them. But then again, we don't know who they are. We just see the outside. We don't see the inside. We don't know what they're dealing with. We don't know what they've dealt with. And it's just like we always would want to be where somebody's already at, but we don't want to put in the work before we
mm,
get there. So I feel like this movie kind of also alludes to like that. So man, this movie really like it hit on a different level and a different surface for me. That's why I feel like it had a more impactful transformation because the transformation isn't even in the deformities of like what we can see with the tumor. It's actually what the stories are portraying. And I think that's where like it's for me it's impactful. It's
yeah.
just like
I
the
agree.
story behind the mask.
Mm. Oh, I didn't even think about that mask. That's another aspect of that mask. Like, who are you really behind the mask? And also, we all put up masks in different places that we're in. We code switch. Who are you? The person you are at work is not the person who you are at home or with your
Facts.
friends, because
Facts.
they don't know me. I don't want to know them like that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's true. So
Yeah,
that's why I feel like this movie it just dives so deep into reality
yeah,
and things that we can relate to that I feel like that's why I see myself even watching this again, just to kind of like reflect on the things that I didn't catch the first, second
yeah,
time.
for sure, for
So
sure.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch it again. So,
fact.
well, this was a really good deep dive into these two movies. We appreciate you guys checking us out and listening to us talk about Substance and A Different Man. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe at the bottom right there at Parallel Reels Pod. We're on all platforms now: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TikTok. Hopefully, it doesn't get banned. YouTube, Instagram at Parallel Reels Pod. You're gonna find us there.